Hello students, welcome to the SPB channel. I am your assistant teacher Chetana Suhagiya, here with the second chapter of political science, that is constitutional design for grade 9th. So the chapter name is constitutional design. So in this chapter we will be learning how the Indian constitution is been designed and which all leaders have put an effort, and how since long it has been started drafting each and every detail about our constitution. We will be learning even after so many years. Today we are following the constitution, so we'll be discussing in which way and how it's been prepared. So still today nobody has questioned the authenticity of that particular constitution. So before we get into the chapter, we will be understanding one story, and the main character of that story is the famous personality Nelson Mandela. He was the South African leader, so we'll be learning about him. So let's understand Nelson Mandela and South Africa. He was the most able, efficient and foresighted leader of Africa. The way we do have the political party into our country, same way in Africa also they do have political parties. And into our country, one of the political party, which is Indian National Congress, had played an important role to give us independence. Same way into Africa, African National Congress had played an important role to give them the independence. South Africa has got the quite similar story to our country in the terms of the rule and the system. Like the way Britishers came to India and they have ruled into our country for around 200 years. Same way they had occupied this South Africa also, and over there also they had ruled for so many years. But over there they did started up with one system which is called apartheid system. Apartheid system means a system of a segregation between white and black people. In South Africa, the skin tone of people is quite black, so it has been they had discriminated people on the basis of their skin color, and that particular system has been known as apartheid system. So the Nelson Mandela, he was the leader, and he was fighting against this rule, and because of that the government, white government, had given him imprisonment, and Nelson Mandela had spent around 28 years into the Robben Island, which is quite far from South Africa, and which was barren island. Over there he had spent around 28 years, and he has struggled against the apartheid. In South Africa, in 18th and 19th century, Europe occupied South Africa and settled there. That divided country into three groups on the basis of skin color: white, black and colored people. White people means people those who have got a naturally white color. Black people means people those who have got dark black color, and colored people, it's like an Indian people, those who have got the British color. This is also a definition of apartheid, a system of racial discrimination unique to South Africa, black, white and color. That system was separating black, white and color people. Over here you can see the poster which says that the people those who are black, they are not allowed to use, they are not allowed to enter into the premises, or they are not allowed to take the facilities of that particular public facilities. They are not allowed. Now how the struggle has been started. The struggle against the Apartheid Act. Oppressive system for the black. This system, apartheid system, was quite oppressive for the people those who were black, and it was separating black and white people, which was forbidden from the living into the white areas and could not work in white areas and discriminated while using the public properties. Like over here on the top of this video, you can see one poster in which you can see the sign of danger, and it's been written, you have been warned. What has been warned? If you are entering into the white area, then you will be missing, which means then which mean that you can be killed if you enter into the areas which is being used by white people. Okay, even they used to discriminate at the worship places, like black could not visit the church where white worshipped, or they were not allowed to form an association. Okay, so this is the political party which has fought, which has struggled against the apartheid act. Since 1950, blacks, colored and the Indians fought against this system. Even our leader Mahatma Gandhi, he has started satyagraha from South Africa, where he was practicing law, and over there he was been discriminated. So over there he had started this movement. So he had already become known leader over there. So since 1915, black, colored and Indian fought against these systems, which includes the workers' unions, communist and the sensitive white people, those who had joined this. Okay, in 1964, Nelson Mandela and seven other leaders, they were being sentenced of life imprisonment, but the white fascist government continued to rule by torturing and killing thousands of black and colored people. So these people have been struggling since 1950, and then they have started the rebelling, and in 1964 Nelson Mandela was been given the lifetime imprisonment, and later on also this movement did not stop. And though the white people tried to suppress this movement by killing thousands of colored and black people, but then too this movement did not stop. At last the protest increased, and they had realized that we could no longer keep this black under the repression, and they had given the independence to the South Africa. Now students, we will be learning, as they have got an independence, how they have made the constitution and what way the constitution did work. So we'll be learning about that. South Africa has quite similar story like India. Into our country also we do have the similar way. We had struggled a lot. Many people were being imprisoned. Many people were being killed during the independence struggle. And finally Britishers realized that we cannot suppress these people, so they had given an independence. And even South African people was also inspired by our country. Okay, racial government changed their policy. Discriminatory laws were repealed, and ban on political parties and restriction on the medias were been lifted. And Nelson Mandela was been released from jail after 28 years of imprisonment. As the boycott had increased, the the white government had realized that we cannot rule over here. So finally they had given up, and they had taken certain steps, like whatever apartheid law which was been imposed on black people, that was been banned, as well as the ban on political party and media which was there, and the restriction which they had put forward, everything was been lifted by the government, and the leader Nelson Mandela was been released from the imprisonment. Now the main task come here, that's towards a new constitution. The new constitution was a kind of as we know that whatever games we do play, so in that particular game, if there isn't any rule, we won't enjoy that game. The same way, when we talk about the country is a quite large area, and to ensure that each and everyone can live peacefully, so for that we need the constitution. So towards a new constitution, at the midnight of 26th April 1994, the Republic of South Africa, a multiracial government was born. So over there they had come up to the multiracial government. Multiracial government means a government in which they do have the white people, black people, as well as the colored people. The black forgive the white. Both blacks and white decided to build a new South Africa based on equality for all races, on the democratic values, social justice, and human right. At last, they have come up to the solution that people, those who were white, they were been they wanted to stay into the country, as well as people, those who were African, they wanted them to be into the country. So they decided mutually that black people had forgive the white people, and they have started with the new nation in which everyone was been given the equality and human rights were been given. After 2 years discussion and debate, they draw a common constitution and gave to its citizen the most extensive right available in any country. This was a kind of latest constitution which was been built into the world. So they had taken up so many rights from the other countries, and they have built their constitution, and which was a quite good constitution, quite lengthy constitution. The preamble of South Africa you can see over here, as well as South Africa has been known as the Rainbow Nation. Students, this question has been frequently asked, why South Africa has been known as Rainbow Nation? Because in that particular nation they had decided to live together by forgiving the colors, by forgiving the things which was happened. They did not remember about the history. Okay, we the people of South Africa recognize the injustice of our past, honor those who suffered for the justice and freedom into the land, and respect those who have worked to build and develop the country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live into it. United in our diversity, we therefore thought our freely elected representative adopt the constitution as a supreme law of the republic, so this is what I say. This is the preamble of South Africa, and same way like in our constitution we do have the preamble as we the people. Okay, that we will be discussing into this chapter later. Now, heal the past and establish the society based on democratic value, social justice, and the fundamental human right. That what was been adopted by South Africa. Students, the rest of the chapter we will be discussing into the next video. Keep on learning. Thank you so much.